Hello, English learners. Welcome to another great lesson with English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
So, Erica, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. And I think we've got a good lesson today, a really helpful lesson.
What are we talking about today?
We have an elementary lesson about making an appointment.
All right, making an appointment. Yeah, that's really helpful. I guess you have to make appointments for the doctor or
at work, maybe, or with your friends. Yeah. So this is language that you can use every day to make appointments.
Great. Well, so why don't we take a look at our vocabulary preview?
Vocabulary preview.
We only have one word today, which you need to know to understand this dialogue, and it is financial advisor.
Financial advisor.
Financial advisor.
So, what is a financial advisor?
A financial advisor is a person who gives suggestions or recommendations about investing money. Someone who wants you to put money in the stock market.
Okay, great. I guess we're ready now to listen to our dialogue for the first time. And as always, it's going to be at a normal speed, but you don't have to worry about it because
we'll come back and teach you all the important words.
Hello, Fairbrook Consulting. How may I help you?
Yes, this is Julianne Horton, and I'm calling to arrange an appointment with Miss McNeely.
Certainly. What day were you thinking of?
How's Thursday? Does she have any time available then?
Let me double check. Unfortunately, she's booked solid on Thursday. How does next Monday work for you?
Actually, I've got something scheduled on Monday. Can she do Tuesday?
Sure, Tuesday's perfect. May I ask where you're calling from?
Sure, Merton Financial Advisors.
Oh. Actually, Tuesday's no good. Sorry about that.
Well, I guess Ms. McNeely does not want to speak to any financial advisors.
Yeah, I guess she doesn't really want to invest in the stock market, huh?
Or maybe she just gets too many phone calls from them.
Yeah. If you have money, I guess you'll get phone calls from people like that.
I guess we don't have that problem, hey?
No, we don't. Okay, let's start with our language takeaway for today.
Language takeaway.
So 4 words today. The first one is available.
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 Meaning
that you are not busy.
That you're free.
You're free. You're not busy.
Exactly. Let's move to our next word. Double check.
Double check.
Double check.
Double check.
I think we've got some examples of this phrase.
Example 1.
Hey, I was wondering if you're available to meet up sometime this week. I really need your input on a few things for the project.
Let me double-check my calendar. I'm tied up with some meetings until Wednesday, but I could make time Thursday afternoon. Would that work for you?
Thursday afternoon sounds perfect. I was hoping we could go over the latest drafts and make sure we're on the same page before the presentation next week.
Yeah, that should be doable. I've got the files with me, so we can go through them and adjust anything that needs fine-tuning.
That's great to hear. I was also thinking about adding a few more slides to the presentation, but I'm not sure if it's doable with the time we have left. What do you think?
It might be tight, but if we focus on the key points, I think we can make it work. I'll prioritize the slides that need the most attention and we can streamline the rest.
Sounds like a plan. I'm glad you're available to help with this. I've been juggling a lot lately, so having you on board really makes a difference.
Of course, I'm happy to help. I know things can get hectic, but I think once we've got a solid draft, it'll be much easier to wrap up the final details. Just let me know if anything else comes up.
I will. Thanks again. Thursday at 2 p.m.
Perfect. I'll see you then.
Okay, so double check basically means to check something twice.
Exactly, to check it again.
Check it again. Okay. Our third word for language takeaway today is scheduled.
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 Scheduled. So when you have something scheduled, it means that you have something
Planned.
Planned, right?
Yeah, or booked at that time.
booked at that time.
Yeah, we've got a lunch scheduled this afternoon, don't we?
Yes, we do.
All
a
right.
great lunch. Looking forward to it. And our last word for today is booked solid.
Booked solid.
Booked solid.
B-O-O-K-E-D. Booked solid.
So we have some great examples on how you can use this great phrase booked solid, and you can understand what it means.
Hey, I wanted to see if you're free for lunch tomorrow to go over the new project proposal. Are you available around noon?
I'd love to, but my day's actually scheduled with back-to-back meetings. I'm pretty much booked solid until late afternoon.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize you had such a packed schedule. Sounds like you've got a lot on your plate. Would any time tomorrow work at all? Or should we try for another day?
Unfortunately, tomorrow's not looking great. I've got conference calls in the morning, and then a few client meetings in the afternoon. I'm basically booked solid, but I do have an hour free Thursday afternoon around 3 p.m. Would that work?
Thursday at 3 sounds good. I need to run through some of the client feedback with you. And I was hoping we could finalize a few details before the presentation next week.
Perfect. I've actually got some time scheduled for project reviews around then, so I can definitely make it work. I'll just have to make sure I'm not running late from my other meetings.
No worries. I know how tight things can get. I'll keep it brief. I'm just hoping to get your input on a couple of revisions. Shouldn't take more than 30 minutes.
That sounds manageable. I've been feeling a bit overwhelmed with everything on my plate, but I'm happy to prioritize this. I just don't want to fall behind on other tasks, especially with how booked solid I've been this week.
I totally get it. I'll make sure we stick to the agenda and keep things focused. Thanks for fitting me in even with your schedule being so packed.
Of course, I know we need to get this wrapped up. Just remind me the morning of Thursday, though things can get crazy, and I might forget with all the other meetings I've got scheduled.
Will do. I'll send you a quick reminder. Thanks again for making time.
No problem. See you Thursday at 3. Looking forward to it.
Okay, great. So booked solid basically is?
You have no free time, no available time.
Right.
So you've got appointments scheduled all day.
All day. Great. So with this in mind, now we can listen to our dialogue a second time. This time it's going to be slow so we can
Understand a little bit better.
Hi, and welcome. Are you ready to listen to our story today? Let's dive into something we all need in life, scheduling appointments. Whether it's for work, a meeting with friends, or even a visit to the doctor, being able to set up a meeting time is a skill we all use every day. And in this episode, we are going to focus on how you can do this like a pro using simple and natural English. Imagine this. You're trying to book an appointment with someone important. Maybe it's a business meeting, maybe it's just a casual coffee with a friend, or even something for your health. But the challenge is finding a time that works for both of you. In English, there are some key phrases and vocabulary that will make this process smooth and professional. For example, when you first contact someone to schedule a meeting, a good way to start is by saying, "Hi, I was wondering if you're available to meet up sometime this week." This is a polite and simple way to ask if the person has free time to meet with you. Now, let's break that down. The word available means that someone has time to meet, or they are not busy. When you ask if someone is available, you're essentially checking if they have time for your appointment. You could also use another useful phrase like, "Does day work for you?" For example, "Does Thursday work for you?" or "Is Monday good for you?" These are simple ways to suggest a day when you'd like to meet. But remember, people are busy, so sometimes they might not be free when you suggest. This is where you need to be flexible. If Thursday doesn't work for them, you might say something like, "How about Tuesday instead?" Or if they are completely booked, they might say, "Sorry, I'm booked solid on Thursday. How does Monday look for you?" By the end of this story, you'll be confident using these phrases to schedule your own appointments. So, let's keep going and see how we can make this process even easier. Now that we've learned how to start scheduling an appointment, let's talk about what happens when you're trying to find a time that works for both people. It's important to be clear and polite, so everyone knows what to expect. For example, once you've suggested a day like Tuesday, the other person might check their schedule and say something like, "Let me double check." Double check is an expression we use when we want to check something again, just to be sure. It's a way of saying, "I'm not completely sure yet, so let me confirm." If you're the one double checking, you could say, "Let me check my calendar," or "Let me see if I have time then." These are ways to show you're checking your schedule before giving a final answer. Another useful phrase you'll often hear is booked solid. If someone is booked solid, it means they have no free time available. Their day or schedule is completely full. You might hear, "Sorry, I'm booked solid on Thursday," which means they don't have any available time that day. If you hear that, don't worry. You can always offer another day or time. For instance, you could say, "How about Friday afternoon?" Or "What about next week?" Offering different options shows that you're flexible and willing to work with their schedule. In a situation like this, being polite and patient is key. You can also confirm a new time by saying, "That sounds good to me," or "Perfect, I'll see you then." This shows you're happy with the new plan and that everything is set. Now that we've seen how to ask and check for availability, it's time to practice using these expressions in a real conversation. Stay tuned, because up next we'll see some more examples. Let's keep going. Now that we know how to check schedules and offer alternatives, it's time to look at how we confirm appointments and make sure everything is clear. Once you've found a time that works for both people, it's important to confirm the details. You don't want any confusion later on, so you can say something like, "Okay, so we are meeting on Friday at 2 p.m., right?" This is a great way to double check the time and make sure you're both on the same page. Another helpful phrase is, "I'll put that in my calendar," or "I'll make a note of that." This shows that you're serious about remembering the appointment and you're ready to keep track of it. You might hear the other person say, "I'll add that to my schedule," or "I'll make sure it's in my calendar." These are ways to confirm that they've remembered the meeting time. One thing that might happen when scheduling is that plans can change. Maybe something comes up and you need to adjust the time. It's totally normal, so don't panic. You can say something like, "Actually, I just realized I have a meeting that might run late. Could we push our meeting to 3:30 p.m. instead?" This is a polite way to suggest a new time. When you change plans like this, it's always good to apologize for the change, but don't worry, as long as you're polite and clear, people will understand. You could say, "I'm sorry about the change, but I hope 3:30 works for you." This shows that you respect the other person's time and are willing to work with their schedule. At this point, you should feel confident that you know how to schedule appointments, suggest different times, confirm details, and make small changes if needed. And remember, flexibility is key. Now that we've covered how to schedule, confirm, and adjust appointments, let's talk about some important details that can make your appointment scheduling even smoother. One key part of scheduling is the location. You've agreed on a time, but where will you meet? It's important to confirm the place as well. You might say, "Where would you like to meet?" Or "Do you have a specific location in mind?" This lets the other person suggest a place that works for them. For example, if you're meeting a friend, you could say, "How about the cafe near the park?" Or "There's a new restaurant downtown. Would you like to try that?" Offering suggestions like this helps the other person make a decision without feeling pressured. If the person suggests a place that you're not familiar with or that might not work for you, you can respond with, "Actually, I don't know that place. Could we meet somewhere else?" Or "That sounds great, but how about a place a little closer to my office?" Being polite while suggesting a change in location is important. as it shows you're still flexible but also thinking about your convenience. Another important tip is to always confirm any details before the meeting day. For instance, you can say, "I'll confirm the details the night before, just in case anything changes." This helps to ensure that neither person forgets about the meeting or faces unexpected surprises. And if something unexpected happens, like a last-minute change, be sure to communicate quickly. You could say, "Something came up on my end. Can we reschedule for next week?" This keeps the communication open and respectful, showing that you value the other person's time. With these extra tips, you should feel even more confident when making appointments. Remember, good communication is the key. Now, let's move on to part 5, where we'll practice some more examples and dive deeper into how to sound natural and professional. We've already covered the basics of scheduling and confirming appointments, but let's take it a step further by exploring some more ways you can sound natural and professional while doing this. When you're scheduling an appointment, you may need to express urgency or stress how important it is to find a time. For example, you might say, "I really need to meet with you as soon as possible. Do you have any time tomorrow?" This communicates that you need the appointment quickly without being too pushy. Another way to sound urgent but polite is by saying, "It's really important for me to get this done soon. Could we meet as early as possible?" On the other hand, if you're the one with a packed schedule, it's important to explain that you're busy but still eager to meet. You could say, "My schedule's pretty tight this week, but I'll make time for you if we can meet Thursday afternoon." This shows that while you're busy, you're still making an effort to find time for the meeting. You could also use phrases like, "I'm tied up with meetings all week," or "I've got back-to-back appointments, but I'll try to find an hour." Another useful expression is prioritize. When your time is limited, you may need to choose the most important tasks to focus on. You could say, "I have a lot on my plate right now, but I'll prioritize our meeting," meaning you're going to make it a priority even though your schedule is full. This shows that you respect the meeting and are willing to adjust your plans for it. If something unexpected happens and you can't make your appointment, it's essential to inform the other person as soon as possible. You might say, "I'm really sorry, but something's come up and I can't make it today. Can we reschedule?" Apologizing and offering an alternative shows that you're considerate and professional. Now that you know how to handle urgency, being busy, and unexpected changes, you'll be able to schedule appointments confidently and politely. Stay tuned for part 6, where we'll explore more real-life scenarios and practice using these phrases. Let's dive deeper into some more situations where you'll need to adjust or clarify things during the scheduling process. These are moments when good communication is key to making sure everything runs smoothly. For instance, when you've agreed on a time but want to make sure both of you are on the same page, it's helpful to ask for confirmation. You might say, "Just to confirm, we are meeting on Wednesday at 10 a.m., right?" This simple question helps ensure that both parties are clear on the time and date. Sometimes, the other person might suggest a time, but you may have another commitment. Instead of saying, "I'm busy," which can sound a little blunt, try something like, "I've already got something scheduled at that time. Would 11 a.m. work for you instead?" This keeps the conversation friendly and polite while making it clear that you have another appointment but are willing to work around their schedule. Another situation that often comes up is when you're waiting for the other person to confirm their availability. Instead of constantly checking in, a good strategy is to say, "Let me know when you have a moment to check your schedule," or "Take your time, and just let me know what works best for you." This gives the other person the space they need to check their calendar without feeling rushed. Also, if someone is asking you to meet at the last minute, but you're not available, you can politely decline by saying, "I'm afraid I'm tied up at that time. Can we schedule for another day?" Or, if you're not sure if you can make it, you could say, "That might be a bit tight for me. Let me double check, and I'll get back to you." This lets them know you're still considering their request, but you need to confirm your availability first. Remember, the goal is to keep things clear, polite, and flexible. Whether you're rescheduling, confirming, or waiting for a response, the way you communicate can make all the difference. You'll sound confident and professional by using phrases like these. Now that you've got some great strategies under your belt, in Part 7, we'll look at even more advanced ways to keep your appointments on track and manage last-minute changes. Let's keep going. As we continue exploring the world of scheduling, let's now focus on how to manage last-minute changes or unexpected conflicts. We've all been there, plans change, and things don't always go as we expect. But how you handle these situations can make a big difference in how professional and organized you appear. One common issue is that someone might cancel at the last minute. When this happens, it's important to remain calm and understanding. For example, if you receive a message saying, "I'm really sorry, but I have to cancel our meeting," a good way to respond is, "No problem, I completely understand. Let me know when you're free, and we can reschedule." This shows that you're flexible and polite, and it also keeps the door open for rescheduling without any hard feelings. If you need to cancel a meeting yourself, be sure to do it as early as possible and provide a valid reason. A simple way to say it is, "I'm sorry, but something urgent has come up, and I won't be able to make it today. Can we reschedule for next week?" By giving enough notice and offering an alternative time, you show respect for the other person's time and avoid any frustration. Sometimes, after a cancellation, you may need to suggest a new time quickly. You can say, "How about Thursday at 3 p.m.? I have an opening then." If they are available, great. If not, just repeat the process and suggest a different time. Keep in mind, the more options you offer, the more likely it is you'll find a time that works for both of you. Another situation that can arise is when there are multiple people involved in the scheduling process. If you're trying to arrange a group meeting, you might ask, "Can everyone make it on Friday at 2 p.m.? Or is Thursday afternoon better for everyone?" If a few people can't make it, it's a good idea to find a time that works for the majority, but always be mindful to check with everyone before confirming. And remember, when it comes to last-minute changes, the key to keeping things smooth is communication. Always let the other person know as soon as possible if something changes on your end. If you can't meet, be quick to apologize and suggest a new time. This helps avoid misunderstandings and shows you value their time. As we move into Part 8, we'll explore how to handle these situations even more smoothly with some extra tips and strategies. Stay tuned. We've covered a lot about how to schedule, confirm, and handle changes to appointments. Now, let's focus on how to make your scheduling even more effective with some key tips that can help you manage your time and the time of others more efficiently. One of the best practices when scheduling is to be proactive. This means reaching out as soon as you know you need to make an appointment. The earlier you contact someone to set a time, the better chance you have of finding a slot that works for both of you. For example, instead of waiting until the last minute to ask, you can say, "I was hoping we could meet next week. Do you have any time on Tuesday or Wednesday?" This gives the other person options and shows that you're organized and planning ahead. Another useful technique is to set a time frame for your meeting. When you're scheduling, let the other person know how much time you expect to spend together. For instance, if you're setting up a business meeting, you might say, "I think we'll need about an hour to go over everything. Does that work for you?" This helps set expectations and shows that you respect their time. If you're meeting for something casual, like coffee with a friend, you can keep it light and say, "I'm free for about 30 minutes. How about we meet at 2 p.m.? Giving a time frame makes the meeting feel more organized, and both people will know exactly what to expect. When you're confirming a time, it's important to be clear and use specific language. For example, instead of saying, "Let's meet in the afternoon," say, "Let's meet at 3 p.m. This eliminates any confusion about the time and helps avoid misunderstandings. Being clear with your time also helps others manage their schedules more effectively. One thing to remember is that things can sometimes run over. If you're in a meeting that's taking longer than expected, it's polite to let the other person know. You might say, "I'm so sorry, but I think this is going to run a little longer. Would it be okay if we go past the scheduled time?" It's important to be courteous and give the other person a chance to adjust if they need to. Lastly, if you're the one waiting for the other person, it's always polite to give them a little grace period. If the meeting is 10 or 15 minutes late, don't panic right away. You can send a friendly message saying, "I'm here. Let me know if anything's changed," to gently remind them without sounding frustrated. Now that you know how to be proactive, clear, and considerate when scheduling, you'll find that appointments go much more smoothly. In the final part, we'll wrap up everything we've learned and give you some final tips for making your scheduling process even easier. We've covered a lot about scheduling appointments, from the basics to the more advanced tips. Now, let's wrap up with some final thoughts and important takeaways that will help you schedule like a pro. One of the most important things you can do when scheduling an appointment is to stay flexible. Things don't always go as planned, and sometimes you'll need to adjust your schedule. Whether it's because of a last-minute change, a conflict, or a simple mistake, the ability to adapt is crucial. Always be ready to offer new options, and don't get discouraged if things don't go exactly as you hoped. Another key tip is to keep your appointments organized. Whether you use a digital calendar, a planner, or just jot things down on paper, it's important to keep track of your meetings. When you confirm the time and location, make sure you have the correct information and review your schedule regularly. This way, you won't miss any appointments and can stay on top of your commitments. Don't forget that politeness is key to making scheduling smooth and efficient. Whether you're rescheduling, confirming, or canceling, always be respectful of the other person's time. Use phrases like, "I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me," or "Thank you for being flexible with your schedule." These simple words show that you value their time and effort, which helps build positive relationships. Finally, be proactive and communicate early. The sooner you start the process of scheduling, the better chance you have of finding a time that works for everyone involved. It's always better to reach out early than to wait until the last minute, especially if you're coordinating with a busy person. So, as you continue practicing your appointment scheduling skills, remember to stay organized, be flexible, and always communicate clearly. You'll find that scheduling becomes much easier and more efficient as you use these simple techniques. Thank you for being a part of the English Podcast Zone today. I hope these tips have made scheduling a little less stressful for you. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.
Hello? Fairbrook Consulting. How may I help you?
Yes, this is Julianne Horton, and I'm calling to arrange an appointment with Ms. McNeely.
Certainly. What date were you thinking of?
How's Thursday? Does she have any time available then?
Let me double check. No, unfortunately, she's booked solid on Thursday. How does next Monday work for you?
Actually, I've got something scheduled on Monday. Can she do Tuesday?
Sure. Tuesday's perfect. May I ask where you're calling from?
Sure. Merton Financial Advisors.
Oh. Actually, Tuesday's no good. Sorry about that.
Okay, so now it's a little bit more clear, and with this, we can start with putting it together.
Putting it together.
There's some great examples in this dialogue of phrases you can use when you need to schedule an appointment. And we're going to look at those today. In the dialogue, we heard Julianne ask about making an appointment, and she said this.
I'm calling to arrange an appointment with Ms. McNeely. I'm calling to arrange an appointment with Ms. McNeely.
So this is a great way to schedule an appointment, to ask for some time from somebody else.
Yeah, and we have some more examples of this phrase.
Hi, I was wondering if you're available to meet up sometime this week.
Hey, sure, that sounds good. What day were you thinking?
I was thinking maybe Thursday. Does that work for you?
Thursday could work. Do you have a specific time in mind?
How about around 3 p.m.?
I think I might be busy then. Would earlier in the day work? Like around 11 a.m.?
11 a.m. on Thursday should work for me. Where would you like to meet?
There's that new cafe near the park. How about there?
That sounds perfect. So, Thursday at 11 a.m. at the cafe near the park.
Yes, that's right. I'll see you there.
Great. Looking forward to it. Thanks for being flexible with the time.
No problem at all. See you on Thursday.
Great. So after that, when you're scheduling an appointment, you need to suggest a day when maybe that person has time.
Yes, let's listen to what they said in the dialogue.
How's Thursday? Does she have any time available then? How's Thursday? Does she have any time available then?
You say, well, how's Thursday or how's Tuesday? And maybe that person doesn't have time that day, so they'll say something like this.
Can she do Tuesday? Can she do Tuesday?
Okay, Erica, so if I want to have a meeting with you, I would say, how's Monday sound? Or how's Monday?
Monday's no good. I'm
how's-
busy all day.
How's Tuesday?
Sorry, Tuesday's no good either.
What about Wednesday?
Okay, Wednesday works.
All right, great.
Wednesday's perfect.
Okay, it's great. So we have a meeting on Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, those are some great phrases, hey, for scheduling an appointment.
Yeah, they're really good. Okay, so now we can listen to our dialogue a third time and we're ready to understand everything that we've just talked about.
Hello, Fairbrook Consulting. How may I help you?
Yes, this is Julianne Horton, and I'm calling to arrange an appointment with Miss McNeely.
Certainly. What day were you thinking of?
How's Thursday? Does she have any time available then?
Let me double check. Unfortunately, she's booked solid on Thursday. How does next Monday work for you?
Actually, I've got something scheduled on Monday. Can she do Tuesday?
Sure, Tuesday's perfect. May I ask where you're calling from?
Sure, Merton Financial Advisors.
Oh. Actually, Tuesday's no good. Sorry about that.
The language in this dialogue is really useful, isn't it, Marco?
Yeah, it's from an everyday situation. You always have to make appointments at some point.
Yes, and like we said earlier, it's language you can use when you need to talk about work with your boss, maybe.
Right.
Or when you need to do daily things like go to the doctor. Or even when you're planning something with your friends.
Right.
Yeah, you can use this in all those situations.
In all situations.
Uh-huh.
Great. Well, we're out of time now, but I hope you enjoyed our lesson and found it useful.
Please listen to this conversation to understand better all the words.
Hello, I was hoping we could meet sometime this week. Are you free?
Hey, I'd love to meet, but my week's pretty packed. Let me check my schedule. All right, I have a few openings, but I should double check them. When were you thinking?
I understand. Sounds like you're booked solid. I was hoping for something by Thursday, if possible. Maybe late afternoon.
Let's see. Oh, actually, Thursday afternoon is completely full. I have back-to-back meetings all day. I could try Friday instead.
Friday might work. Let me take a look at my schedule as well. I actually have a few things already planned, but I think I could make time in the afternoon. Would, say, 3 p.m. work for you?
Let me double check. Yes, I think that could work. But I just remembered, I have a meeting that might run a little late. Could we make it 3:30 p.m. just to be safe?
Sure, 3:30 p.m. on Friday sounds good to me. I'll make a note of it.
Great. I'm glad we could find a time. Scheduling can be such a challenge sometimes. Thanks for being flexible.
Definitely, it's always a bit of a juggling act, isn't it? I'm just glad we could find something that fits. So, Friday at 3:30 p.m., do we need to confirm the location, or do we already have it set?
Good point. Let's meet at the downtown cafe. The one near the main office. I think it'll be a quiet spot for a change.
Perfect. I know the one. It's usually pretty calm in the afternoons. I'll put that down too, just so everything's clear.
Same here. I'll add it to my calendar as well. And I'll double-check everything the night before, just in case anything changes on my end.
Good idea. I'll do the same. Looking forward to it. Thanks again for helping with the planning. It feels good to have this appointment scheduled.
Agreed. And if anything comes up, let's just give each other a heads up. I'm looking forward to catching up.
Sounds like a plan. See you Friday at 3:30 at the cafe.
See you then.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
To arrange. An agreement to meet someone at a particular time.
Appointment.
Not busy. Willing to talk to someone.
Available.
Check again.
Double check.
Having no available place or time.
Booked solid.
Be okay.
Work for you.
Planned at a specific time.
Scheduled.
Not okay.
No good. Let's try that faster.
To arrange. Be okay.
Work for you.
Not okay.
No good.
Be okay.
Work for you.
To arrange. Be okay.
Work for you.
Check again.
Double check.
Be okay.
Work for you.
Check again.
Double check.
An agreement to meet someone at a particular time.
Appointment.
Check again.
Double check.
To arrange. Be okay.
Work for you.
Check again.
Double check.
Planned at a specific time.
Scheduled. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence. Appointment. Can you make an appointment for me to see the doctor? Booked solid. I can't get a hotel room. They're booked solid until after the new year. Double check. I thought that I sent that email already, but let me double check. Available. I'm available at 3. Let's meet then. Work for you. I'm free at 10. Does that work for you? No good. Tuesday's no good. I have meetings all day. Appointment. Can you make an appointment for me to see the doctor? Booked solid. I can't get a hotel room. They're booked solid until after the new year. Double check. I thought that I sent that email already, but let me double check. No good.
Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode and want more engaging podcast content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, English Podcast Zone. Stay tuned for new episodes coming your way.